you work, I'd like to work together with you to help make that happen. And I believe that there is a way to build loyalty with your current customers and then gradually build that relationship that you have with your main client with all the family members. So it becomes not just one generation, but multi-generations who become loyal to you as your provider or service person who takes care of either their finances or their insurance or both. So that is my goal. And I believe that caregiving, which I do, which I'm very passionate about, if we work together, we can make that happen for you and for everyone. So I'd like to start with Rosalind Carter, who she did something very dear to my heart. She created an institute just for caregivers, and she did that in 2012. So she had the foresight to see how caregiving is going to be so universal. The future of caregiving, she says, there are only 4 kinds of people in the world: those who've been caregivers, those who are currently caregivers, those who will be caregivers, and those who will need caregivers. And during our lifetime, we will be caregivers most likely at least 3 times in our lives. And it's, again, not just a one generation, but a multi-generation that is affected by caregiving. So I'll go to the next slide, John.
Okay.
There are some hard statistics about caregiving, and maybe you've looked them up yourself, but being in the business of caregiving has given me that face-to-face with people, so I see the effects it has. And I was a family caregiver for my in-laws, and I know firsthand that there is a lot of caregiver stress that happens. So in general, it's 33% of all Americans are caregivers. And like Rosalind Carter was saying, we will be caregivers or need to be or have caregiving for ourselves. Family caregivers in America total 53 million people. That's a lot of people. And it touches, again, multi-generation of people. 50% suffer from caregiver-related depression. I know I suffered depression when caring for my in-laws. I love them so much, but I could only control what I could. And it was very hard to watch, but also I had the expertise to know who to connect with and how to caregive for them. But as a family caregiver myself, I gained a lot of weight, I got ill. So there were a lot of effects that happened to me that were a big learning curve. As we've said, caregivers are multi-generational. So you think, oh, it's just the gentleman who is ill that's affected along with his wife. But if you look more holistically, you're seeing in the family that it's touching the children and then sometimes even the grandchildren, because because someone is ill, they may miss a graduation or a birthday because of that caregiver. So sometimes we are affected with it in many different ways. 30% of family caregivers will die before the person or persons for whom they care. This is very true, and it's a sad fact. So sometimes when I would be with family caregivers, I would actually talk to the wife who was caring for her husband and say to them privately that, say her name was Judy, I'd say, Judy, I want us to look at this a little broader than just caring for your husband. We also need to be thinking about your children and your grandchildren, because they're concerned about losing their grandfather or their father, your husband. But if we don't take care of you, if you don't take care of yourself and create that circle and support, something could happen to you. And then that whole family dynamic that's been holding on, hoping that you're going to hold it all together, will fall apart. So we need to make sure that you are taking care of yourself as you take care of others. In fact, I had a radio show for 4 years in Tampa. It was called the Caregiver Hour. And I would have all different professionals just like yourself come on and talk to family caregivers to help educate and empower them. So that is one of my biggest passions. And then a large percentage of caregivers are baby boomers, and we all kind of know that for a fact. So in my industry, I see it every day. Does anyone have any questions while I just take a pause to ask? Anyone have any questions so far? This is a very relaxed presentation, interactive. Okay, if no one has any questions, we'll carry on. John, the next slide, please. This slide is really important because I have created a sample, an example of a situation where you could grow your business. So Tom is on the left, the father, grandfather, and then Mary, his wife, is on the right. And then in the middle is their youngest child, Susan. They had about 8 children, so youngest, and she's the one that lives closest to them. And I want to talk about the common concerns of caregivers. Yes, there's the physical and mental conditions of aging. In this situation, Mary is the caregiver because Tom has fallen, broken his hip, went to the hospital, had the surgery, now he's in rehab. Before he went to rehab, though, he had some mild confusion, but now since he's been at rehab, his confusion has increased. And now the family is very concerned about these other areas of caregiving. So the physical and mental conditions of aging, sometimes a medical situation could be the bump that could precipitate all of these concerns, because before Tom was active, he golfed, he loved to ride his bike, he loved to do, loved to go to car races, horseback races. So he was a very active, intelligent person, and he still is, but he had this medical situation. And Mary, who also had her own career, who's a busy mother and grandmother, is now having to really come to terms with what's happening with Tom physically and mental with his condition of aging. Now she's got to think, is Tom going to be coming home, or do I need to make some new arrangements? This could create a lot of stress for the family to be considering, but it is a conversation. Financial and legal assistance. This is where you would be coming in as the experts in how are we going to handle this financially. Well, fortunately, they did save a lot of money and invested very well. And they also had legal guidance. So they had all their legal documents in order. All the children know where all the important papers were. But sometimes people need self-help for the caregiver. And this is where I really can come in and help you support your clients by adding in this layer of support and my expertise. So when you hear a story from one of your clients, or you ask them, are you a caregiver to your client? And they start telling you the story, you have the ability to say, you know what? I just met someone who actually, this is her expertise. This is her passion, is to help families. And I have this service now where you can email her directly. And then even if you needed to, you could set up a phone conversation, and she can talk to not just you, but the whole family. And when we talk about the whole family, this is where we're building that loyalty, because you've been the connector for us. You connected me with this family who I'm going to help you take care of, who will then now be loyal to you. And this is how you will grow your business, by not just taking care of Mary and Tom's finances or insurance, but all of their children and then who they know. So this is very exciting, because this is the expansion I'm talking about, and the being in deepen with them with the caregiving, but be able to just roll it over to me and letting me take care of them, and then reporting back to you how things are going. And then with caregiving, there's always changes, and people always get a little wiggly with changes. So I help them deal with the changes, support them, guide them, and then give them all the resources and support that they need. John, would you like any questions from that, from what I've just spoken about, or comments?
Okay.
Okay. So we've talked about the tools available for caregivers. I'm definitely going to be at the top of the list, because I want to be able to be that tool in your tool chest, who is the go-to person, who is the expert on caregiving, and helping and understanding how you and I are on the same page with your goal of building your business, expanding it to not just your current client, but all of their family members, so they stay loyal to you, because you have shown them that you care, like, and trust them, and you want them to feel the same about you and me, so that we can build this business for you together. Since we know it's a multi-generation multi-generational issue and concern, I can help you with that. Find solutions. Sometimes caregiving can be very complex. I have no fear of that at all. I just kind of walked everyone through together, and that becomes a very exciting journey for all of us. And by supporting them, you're giving them a lifetime of loyalty to all the members who will be very grateful.
Okay.
And then you're going to take this part over, John?
Yes, thank you, Kim.
Welcome.
As Kim has indicated, the opportunity for you as advisors is to be able to bring the value to that relationship, the value that essentially builds on the loyalty and really focuses on how to protect and family investments. So again, that's going to be our focus as well as a recurring theme throughout this presentation in terms of the value that we see in your role as advisors. So we'll just kind of go through that as far as what you bring by virtue of that vesting, if you will, in their empowering or empowerment. It's being able to help your clients understand and learn ways in which they can better take on the role and responsibility of caregiving. It's the way in which to show them, as Kim has indicated with her background and experience, that they can manage this responsibility. So it's bringing a level of awareness to them as to what they can expect with our program. So we talk about it again in terms of vested in empowering a client's caregiving role and responsibility. We also talk about the value of covering asset protection, again, for generational growth. And this way you can build a bond, if you will, with the family and extended family, that they know where to go to relative to their concerns and particularly in terms of assets of their parents, and that of which they may position themselves for as inheritance. So it's talking about, again, the value that surrounds your role and responsibilities or opportunities as advisors. We talked about loyalty. Loyalty is very important. Being able to build that connection, being able to show the support of their needs. It really comes around to just having an increased awareness of what people are going through, mainly your clients, as we've outlined. At any point in time, someone's going to be involved in caregiving, and if you can bring the opportunity with our resources, it can help to reinforce loyalty within your relationship. And the key there is, again, showing support. We also talk about the value of understanding, knowing kind of what the person's going through, having a sense of walking in their shoes, so to speak, is the way in which you can increase your value as an advisor. It's recognizing that the role of caregiving is critical in being able to maintain the relationship in that regard. And finally, we have empathy. And empathy is an overall statement for anyone working with caregivers. It's important to let them know that you understand and that you ultimately care, and you have a sense of an awareness of what their needs are. And mainly, as we talk about empathy, it is having the ability to just listen and listen for key indicators, some of which we describe and we talk about. But clearly, when you're seeing someone and they're talking about not knowing where to go, kind of having a whole, because essentially people don't know what they don't know. So when they're in that caregiving situation, it becomes more critical that you show the empathy, that you can show them some direction and offer some guidance in those areas. So we're going to let Jack take over from here and walk us through the services.
Hi, everyone. Before I get started, any questions? Okay, don't hesitate to cut in whenever you have a question. We have put together, based on everything you've heard from Kim and John, a package of benefits that we have essentially designed to cover the bases of caregiver needs. And as both Kim and John explained, our entire intention here is to help you folks protect the assets that your oldest generation has placed with you. And perhaps the younger generations now might be questioning whether they want to keep those investments where their parents had placed them. In order for you to really help them build a loyalty with you that you've already gotten with their parents, we have suggested that caregiving is the appropriate route that will help you do that. And so in that regard, we have a program of 3 primary benefits. One is Ask Kim. Kim is the holistic caregiver coach. People are able to send their questions to Kim's website, and she will answer any of their questions, no matter how involved they may be, within the 24-hour period. The second program, which is COVID Caregiver Guide, is a very, very timely, I don't have to tell you how timely it is, but it's very in demand for people to understand what are the ongoing effects of the pandemic going to be on their families. What is it going to mean to their long-term investments? And what do they need to do in terms of planning for whatever it is that's coming down the pike? And the third product that's included in this bundle is the Caregiver Record Keeper and Journal. Many caregivers understand the importance of essentially plotting the events that take place as they see their loved ones sometimes losing memory, sometimes having physical impairments, sometimes wanting to note special events that are taking place, and also getting some insight into what it all means. Our Record Keeper and Journal is a very extensive online product, but something that caregivers find very, very valuable. Now, these products, if someone went out to buy them in the open marketplace and they wanted to use all of them, it could cost them hundreds of dollars a month to subscribe to these. But what we have put together for your organization is a very special bundled price where you can get unlimited access to these programs for a month for just $14.95, which means you can use it if you have 10 clients. If you have 100 clients, you still pay that one-time fee of just $14.95. You may want to offer these programs free to your clients to build that loyalty, or you may want to price them and supply it to them at a cost plus so that you have a markup. All of those things will be handled through your own personalized landing page, which we have put together. John, if you can pull up a sample. They won't see Rosalind Carter on your landing page, but they will see a page. We're getting a lot of feedback on the line here. I'm not really sure where that's coming from.
Yeah.
But I hope you folks can hear this okay. So you can see this webpage. John, does everybody see the entire image? Because right now we're seeing.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through it.
So this page is something that your clients will be able to go to. You'll see right here the line about the following products. That, of course, would not appear on their page. What would appear on their page would be the entire list of products. And if you decide to give it to them with no charge, then it would have your logo on the page, and they would know that this was a gift coming from you. Again, it's $14.95 for all 3.
John, can you hear
I'm
us?
sorry, I mistakenly muted, Jack.
Okay, everyone else is muted though?
Yeah, for the most part,
Okay, that's great. Thank
So
you.
I'm not sure if you folks could hear what I had to say, but this landing page will be personalized with your own logo. Your clients will be able to access this page and see the products. If you wish to give them the products for free, there will be no charge indicated to them. And if you wish to charge them, we will appropriately assign a price to each of these products. And then we will also share the revenue with you. In addition to that basic list of products, we have upsells. It's our medication call reminder. It's also our tech program and our nurses hotline. Hopefully you can see the pricing on here. These are not offered in the basic package, but there is a revenue share with all of you if your clients decide to purchase any of these products. The medication call reminder is a service that offers 3 calls a day, 7 days a week. And it gives your client the opportunity to personalize a message that goes to their loved one, telling them when it's time to take their medications. It also reminds them of upcoming appointments. And it's something that has a text message that goes to the caregiver to tell them when the message has been received by their loved one. On that message, that text message, once again, there is a sponsor opportunity. So that message that goes to their caregiver would say that this is a message to confirm that your parent has taken their medication. And on that message, you'd have an opportunity to put a display of your logo along with that. So you have those 3 upsell programs. They are in addition to the basic package that you folks can get for just $14.95 a month. Once again, I think that it's really important to understand the amount of volume that Kim has seen on her Ask Kim coaching, which is pretty extraordinary. And that's because of the intense need for information that caregivers have today. And once again, all of that is yours for that very low price of just $14.95 a month. I believe that you've seen the landing page, you see the products.
This
And
is
now
this
you
is
go.
Ask Kim, where people can go and submit their email information, email questions.
Thank you, John.
Okay. And then here we have this, again, this is reflective of the company with the logo page. Personalized landing page.
Yep.
Kim, you want to wrap it up?
Yes, I want to just thank everyone for allowing me to be a part of your life today. And I hope that my intention of helping you expand and grow your business was very clear, and how we can partner together to build those relationships with your clients and their heirs, to help you build your business with that. Those growing, wonderful relationships can happen together. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and I hope you have a great day.